Tonight, the lesson you have been teaching life is changing, not because you have become colder, not because you have stopped caring, not because your heart has lost its tenderness. It is changing because you are beginning to understand that tenderness does not require you to abandon yourself. For a long time, you may have believed that being loving meant reaching farther, trying harder, explaining one more time, giving one more chance, sending the message first, keeping the conversation alive, making the plan, repairing the silence, finding the excuse, holding the connection together when the other side had already loosened its hands. You may have called this patience. You may have called it loyalty. You may even have called it hope. Some of it was all of those things. Some of it was also a quiet habit of proving that you deserve to be kept. Tonight, that habit does not need to be punished. It only needs to be understood. Because there comes a point when caring for someone and carrying everything become two very different experiences. You know the difference in your body. One feels open, the other feels tight. One leaves room for your dignity. The other keeps asking you to trade pieces of yourself for another hour of reassurance. One lets affection breathe. The other turns your heart into a place where you are constantly waiting for evidence. A reply, a call, a sign, a warmer tone, a clearer answer, a promise that means what it says, a little proof that you are not imagining the distance, a little proof that you still matter. And when you have lived this way for long enough, the smallest response can begin to feel enormous. A short message can lift your whole evening. A delayed answer can sink it. A change in someone's voice can send your mind searching through every sentence you said. You may replay conversations. You may wonder whether you were too much, too direct, too emotional, too quiet, too available, too honest, too hopeful. You may begin editing yourself before anyone has even asked you to change. That is one of the hidden costs of constantly reaching. It does not only take your time, it can teach you to monitor yourself as if your natural presence is something that must be carefully managed. You start asking, what version of me will keep this connection safe? Instead of asking, does this connection feel safe for me? That difference matters. It matters deeply, because the way you relate to others slowly becomes the way you relate to your own heart. When you repeatedly silence your needs so someone will stay comfortable, you teach yourself that their comfort comes before your truth. When you repeatedly accept uncertainty without honest conversation, you teach yourself that confusion is the price of connection. When you repeatedly give more after receiving less, you begin to treat imbalance as normal. None of this means you were foolish. It means you were trying to protect something you cared about. Human beings do this. We hold on to what once felt promising. We remember the warm beginning. We remember the day someone seemed attentive. We remember the words that sounded sincere. We remember how beautiful the possibility felt. Then we keep relating not only to what is happening now, but also to what we hope might return. You can spend months speaking to the memory of a connection while standing inside a completely different reality. You can keep responding to who someone was on their best day while ignoring how consistently they meet you now. You can become devoted to potential. Potential is powerful because it has no edges. It can become anything in the imagination. A future conversation, a changed attitude, a deeper commitment, a new beginning, an apology, a realization, a return to closeness. There is nothing wrong with hoping. Hope only becomes painful when it asks you to keep lowering yourself beneath what you already know. Your heart can remain soft without remaining available to every pattern. Your compassion can stay intact without becoming an excuse for someone else's inconsistency. You can understand another person's history and still choose not to build your peace around their unresolved behavior. You can care and step back. You can forgive and become more discerning. You can remember the beautiful parts without volunteering for the painful ones again. This is where a new lesson begins. You are not here to train yourself to survive on crumbs of attention. You are not here to become an expert at interpreting mixed signals. You are not here to make a home inside uncertainty. You are not here to keep demonstrating your value to people who participate only when it is easy for them. Your life becomes quieter when you no longer turn every silence into a personal verdict. A person can be distant without that distance defining you. A person can be confused without you becoming responsible for solving the confusion. Someone can fail to recognize what you bring without reducing what you bring. Someone can choose differently without that choice becoming proof that something is wrong with you. This sounds obvious when spoken clearly. It often feels harder when the heart is involved, because the heart remembers moments. It remembers the way you were looked at, the way you laughed together, the promise you believed, the future you pictured, the tenderness that seemed possible. Your mind may understand long before your emotional habits catch up. That is all right. You do not need to tear yourself away from anything tonight. You are learning a steadier way. A way in which your inner peace does not depend on whether another person reaches for you at exactly the moment you are afraid they will not. A way in which your phone is not an instrument that measures your value. A way in which unanswered words do not become a courtroom inside your mind. A way in which you do not immediately volunteer more effort whenever someone gives less. This is not a strategy for making anyone behave differently. It is not a game. It is not withholding affection to gain control. It is not pretending not to care. Real self-respect has no need for performance. It does not say, I will disappear so they miss me. It says, I will return to myself because I belong here. Those are very different motives. One is still organized around the other person. The second is organized around your own integrity. That is the shift beginning tonight. You may have spent years thinking that the answer was better communication from you, a kinder explanation, a more carefully chosen sentence, a calmer reaction, a more patient approach, a more forgiving interpretation. Sometimes communication truly does help. Healthy relationships need honest words. But communication cannot create willingness where willingness is absent. You cannot explain someone into consistency. You cannot prove your way into mutual effort. You cannot perform emotional perfection until another person becomes ready. You cannot make yourself easy enough to guarantee that no one disappoints you. That job was never yours. Still, you may have taken it on. You may have become the planner, the peacemaker, the one who checks in, the one who remembers, the one who asks whether everything is okay, the one who softens every difficult truth, the one who makes sure nobody feels pressured, the one who waits, the one who forgives quickly, the one who gives context for behavior that hurt you, the one who says, "They probably did not mean it that way," the one who keeps the door open. There is generosity in some of that. There is also exhaustion, and you deserve to tell the difference. Think about how much inner work it takes to maintain a connection that does not naturally move both ways. You are constantly reading the temperature. You are deciding when to speak. You are deciding when not to speak. You are interpreting delays. You are managing disappointment. You are reducing your requests. You are preparing yourself for less. You are trying to appear relaxed when your nervous system is anything but relaxed. You're trying not to ask the question because you are afraid the answer will confirm what you already sense. That is a heavy way to live. And it can become so familiar that you forget relationships can feel different. Mutual connection has movement in both directions. You do not have to engineer every moment of closeness. You do not have to create every opportunity to be seen. You do not have to keep knocking on a door while convincing yourself that the silence behind it is mysterious. There are people who communicate because they want to communicate. People who remember because you matter to them. People who make room without being persuaded. People who speak clearly enough that you do not have to become a detective. People who respect your time. People who do not make tenderness feel like an exam you must keep passing. This does not mean healthy relationships are effortless. They are not. People misunderstand each other. People get tired. Schedules become full. Fear appears. Old habits surface. Good people sometimes withdraw. Good people sometimes make mistakes. Real closeness still requires patience and repair. The difference is that repair is not the responsibility of only one person. There is movement toward each other. There is accountability. There is curiosity. There is care that can be seen in behavior, not only imagined from words. You are learning to value that difference. You are learning that consistency can be more beautiful than intensity. A dramatic beginning may feel unforgettable. A calm pattern is often what makes trust possible. You may once have confused emotional unpredictability with depth. The high moments felt so high because the low moments left you hungry. Relief felt like romance. A returned message felt like rescue. Warmth after distance felt more powerful than steady warmth might have felt. This is one reason inconsistent attention can be so difficult to step away from. The mind does not only remember pleasure, it also becomes alert to uncertainty. It keeps checking, keeps waiting, keeps hoping for the next moment of closeness. That pattern can make ordinary calm seem almost unfamiliar. You are not weak for having responded to it. You are human. Intermittent care can hold attention precisely because it is unpredictable. But understanding the pattern gives you another choice. You can begin asking a new question. Not, how can I make this work? But what is this asking me to become? Is it asking you to become smaller, more anxious, more apologetic, more watchful, more willing to ignore yourself, more willing to accept words without matching behavior, more willing to call uncertainty patience? Or does the connection invite you to become more yourself, more honest, more settled, more playful, more secure in saying what matters, more able to trust the space between conversations, more free? These questions do not condemn anyone. They clarify your experience. Someone does not have to be a villain for a relationship to be wrong for you. Someone can be a decent person and still be unable to meet you where you are. Someone can care about you and still lack the capacity to build what you need. Someone can have good intentions and still create a pattern that leaves you depleted. You do not have to prove wrongdoing before you honor your limits. This is important. Many people remain in painful dynamics because they think they need a dramatic reason to step back. They wait for betrayal. They wait for cruelty. They wait for something obvious enough to justify themselves. Meanwhile, quiet disappointment accumulates. Small dismissals, repeated uncertainty, promises that keep moving, affection that arrives mostly after distance, needs that are acknowledged but rarely considered, plans that depend on you, conversations that never quite reach honesty. You are permitted to take repeated patterns seriously, not angrily, not dramatically, clearly. Clarity can be quiet. It can sound like this inside you. I do not need to argue with what I keep experiencing. That sentence can change many things. Because when you stop arguing with the evidence of your own life, you stop spending so much strength trying to transform what is into what you hoped it would become. You begin meeting reality with dignity, and dignity is not hard. It does not demand that you shut down your heart. It asks that your heart include you. For some people, this is a completely new idea. You may have learned that being good meant being accommodating, that being loving meant being endlessly understanding, that being mature meant having no needs, that being spiritual meant accepting everything, that being patient meant waiting without a limit, that being loyal meant staying long after your inner voice became tired. Those lessons can sound noble, carried too far. They can separate you from yourself. You can be understanding and still have boundaries. You can be compassionate and still say no. You can be peaceful and still make a clear decision. You can be forgiving and still remember what experience taught you. You can wish someone well without offering unlimited access to your life. You can honor key had happened without returning to the same pattern. Maturity is not the disappearance of your needs. It is the ability to speak about them without making your identity depend on whether someone agrees. That is where your power becomes quiet. You no longer need every person to understand your decision before you trust it. You no longer need unanimous approval before you protect your peace. You do not need to produce a legal case for why something hurts. You can hear your own experience. You can believe yourself. There may still be a part of you that fears what will happen if you stop doing so much, if you do not initiate, if you do not repair, if you do not remind, if you do not keep the emotional bridge standing. That part may whisper, "What if everything falls apart?" Listen carefully to what the fear reveals. If everything depends on your constant effort, what exactly are you being asked to preserve? If the bond can exist only when you overfunction, is it really being held by two people? These are not bitter questions. They are freeing questions, because sometimes what feels like the fear of losing a relationship is actually the fear of discovering how much of it you were sustaining alone. That discovery can ache. It can also return your life to you. Imagine the hours no longer spent rereading messages, the evenings no longer shaped by whether someone called, the mornings no longer beginning with checking for proof, the conversations no longer rehearsed in advance, the mental space no longer occupied by interpreting someone's inconsistency. That space does not remain empty. You return to it. Your interests return. Your humor returns. Your concentration returns. Your creativity returns. Your appetite for your own life returns. You remember that you existed before this uncertainty became so loud. You remember that there are parts of you that have been waiting for your attention, dreams that did not disappear, friendships that feel easy, rooms that feel peaceful, books waiting to be opened, music that changes the atmosphere, work that matters, rest that is not interrupted by emotional surveillance. Your life is larger than the place where someone has been uncertain about you. Much larger. You may have forgotten that for a while. Tonight, you begin remembering. A raised expectation is not an announcement to the world. It begins privately. It begins when you stop negotiating against yourself. You know the little negotiations. I can tolerate this. I should be more patient. I do not want to ask for too much. Maybe this is normal. They are busy. They have been through a lot. I should not make this about me. I can wait a little longer. Sometimes these sentences are compassionate and reasonable. Sometimes they are how you keep postponing the truth. The new question is not whether you can tolerate something. You can tolerate many things. You have already proven that. The question is whether this way of living reflects the life you want to build. Strength is not measured only by how much you can survive. It is also measured by what you no longer volunteer to survive. That is a different kind of strength, a quieter one. It does not need applause. No one may even know the moment it begins. A message remains unsent because you realize you already spoke clearly. An explanation stays inside you because you have explained before. A plan remains unmade because you want to see whether anyone else steps forward. A silence is no longer filled immediately. A boundary is no longer softened until it means nothing. A disappointment is acknowledged instead of instantly excused. These moments may look small from the outside. Inside, they can represent an entire change of identity. You are no longer working so hard to be chosen. You are learning to choose what meets you with care. There is an important difference between expecting perfection and expecting participation. You are not demanding perfection. You do not need anyone to anticipate every need. You do not need constant attention. You do not need someone to say the perfect thing at the perfect time. You are not asking another human being to remove all uncertainty from life. You are asking for something much more grounded. Reciprocity, honesty, respect, effort, care that has some continuity. Words that are not constantly contradicted by behavior, space for your needs as well as theirs, the ability to repair without you doing all the emotional labor. These are not extravagant desires. They are signs of relational health. And if someone cannot offer them, the answer is not always to make yourself easier to disappoint. This is where many hearts become confused. You think, if I need less, maybe this will hurt less. For a while that can seem to work. You lower the expectation. You stop asking. You accept the irregular contact. You tell yourself not to care. You call your own needs attachment. You become proud of needing almost nothing. But a self that has been silenced does not disappear. It waits. The sadness shows up elsewhere. In resentment, in exhaustion, in overthinking, in the feeling that you are lonely even when someone is technically present, in the strange ache of having a connection but not being able to rest inside it. You deserve relationships where your nervous system is not constantly preparing for withdrawal. You deserve to know the difference between excitement and instability. You deserve to know that peace is not boredom. Reliability is not lack of passion. Clarity is not dullness. Steady affection does not need to keep injuring you in order to feel alive. A part of you may still be attached to intensity. That part can be met with kindness. It learned what it learned. It associated unpredictability with importance. It may have learned early that attention had to be earned. It may have learned to become useful, pleasant, helpful, easy, impressive, needed. It may have discovered that being needed felt safer than simply being cherished. When you are needed, you have a role. When you are cherished, you must trust that your presence itself has value. That can feel more vulnerable. You cannot earn cherishing through endless service. You cannot secure it through perfect behavior. You have to let another person reveal whether they have the capacity to meet you. That means leaving some space. Space is difficult when you are afraid. Fear wants to fill every gap. It wants to send another message, offer another explanation, create another opportunity, ask another question, make another excuse. Space feels dangerous because it lets reality speak. But reality is not your enemy. Reality can save you years. When you are no longer filling every empty place, you discover what naturally moves toward you and what does not. You discover who remembers, who initiates, who repairs, who values the connection enough to participate, who respects your boundaries without punishing you, who becomes more honest when honesty is needed, who can hear no without withdrawing affection as a weapon, who can hear a need without treating it as an accusation. And you also discover something about yourself. You discover that you can survive not knowing. You can survive a delayed answer. You can survive someone choosing a path that does not include you. You can survive disappointment without turning it into self-rejection. You can survive the ending of a possibility. You can survive the loss of an imagined future. You have survived more than this before. The goal is not survival, though. The deeper goal is freedom from the habit of measuring yourself through another person's behavior. That freedom begins when you understand one simple truth. Pursuit is not always devotion. Sometimes it is fear wearing devotion's clothes. You may be trying to keep something close because its distance awakens an older fear. The fear of being left. The fear of being replaced. The fear of being forgotten. The fear that someone else will be easier to choose. The fear that if you stop trying, no one will come toward you. Those fears deserve compassion. They do not deserve control of your life. You can hear them without obeying them. You can say internally, I understand why you are afraid. Then still choose what respects you. That is emotional maturity, not the absence of fear, the refusal to let fear negotiate away your dignity. Tonight, something in you is becoming less interested in being convincing. You do not need to convince anyone that you are kind, or interesting, or desirable, or loyal, or ready, or capable of deep commitment. The people who have the capacity to know you will discover you through real relationship. You do not need to present a case. You do not need to audition. You do not need to become unforgettable on command. You are not a performance waiting for a favorable review. You are a life, a whole life. With mornings no one else sees, memories no one else fully knows, private courage, private grief, lessons paid for in years. A sense of humor shaped by everything you survived. Preferences, limits, contradictions, beauty, complexity, quiet strengths you rarely speak about. No single person's attention can summarize that. No single rejection can erase it. No single silence can define it. When you remember this, the world begins to feel less like a room in which you are waiting to be selected. You become a participant in selection. You begin asking whether what approaches you belongs in your life, whether it is consistent with your peace, whether its words and actions agree, whether it respects your body, your time, your emotional safety, your future, whether you can remain yourself in its presence. This is how expectations rise, not through arrogance, through remembrance. You remember that connection is supposed to include connection. You remember that care is allowed to look like care. You remember that your needs are not embarrassing. You remember that a boundary is not a punishment. You remember that you can be tender without being endlessly accessible. You remember that you are not required to keep every door open merely because someone once walked through it beautifully. And as these truths settle into you, the old urgency begins to lose some of its authority. You do not have to act on every impulse. You do not have to answer every fear. You do not have to rescue every fading conversation. You can leave a little room around your life. Room for truth. Room for mutual effort. Room for people to reveal themselves. Room for your own inner voice to become audible again. This room is not emptiness. It is self-respect taking shape. Tonight, you are not becoming less loving. You are becoming less willing to confuse love with self-abandonment. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming discerning. You are not closing your heart. You are learning that an open heart still needs a strong home, and that home begins within you. There is a reason your peace changes the moment you stop trying to force an answer from life. Pressure changes the way you see. When you are afraid of losing something, your attention narrows. You begin searching for evidence that the bond is still intact. A delayed reply feels larger than it is. A distracted tone becomes something to decode. A small change in routine can seem like a warning. Your mind is trying to protect you. It wants certainty. It wants to know where you stand. It wants to remove the discomfort as quickly as possible. And because uncertainty is uncomfortable, you may reach outward before you have had time to hear what is happening within you. You send another message. You offer another solution. You make yourself more available. You explain the feeling before the other person has shown curiosity about it. You try to close the distance. Sometimes that works for a moment. You get a response. You feel relief. The tension drops. Then, when uncertainty appears again, the mind remembers what produced relief the last time. Reach outward. Do something. Restore contact. Get reassurance. This is how a pattern can grow without your conscious decision. You are not deliberately choosing anxiety. You are trying to make anxiety stop. The problem is that every time reassurance becomes the only way you can settle, your inner security is placed in someone else's hands. That creates pressure inside you, and pressure rarely stays hidden. Even when your words sound casual, part of you may be asking a much larger question beneath them. Are we okay? Do you still care? Have I done something wrong? Are you leaving? Am I still important? The other person may never hear those exact questions. Still, fear can shape timing, tone, frequency, and expectation. It can make a simple interaction carry more emotional weight than either person knows how to hold. This does not make you needy. It means your nervous system is seeking safety through contact. But there is another kind of safety you can begin building. The safety of knowing that you will remain with yourself regardless of someone else's response. That changes everything. When you trust yourself to handle disappointment, you do not need to prevent disappointment at all costs. When you trust yourself to face truth, you do not need to keep reality blurred. When you trust yourself to survive an ending, you do not have to turn every moment of distance into an emergency. When you trust yourself to speak honestly, you do not have to rehearse 12 versions of one sentence before sending it. Your inner ground becomes more stable, and from that ground, you see people more clearly. You stop trying to read what you hope is there. You begin observing what is actually being offered. This is not cynical. It is peaceful. A person who wants closeness can still be busy. A person who respects you can still make mistakes. Someone sincere can still communicate imperfectly. You do not need a flawless performance from anyone. What you are looking for is a pattern that has room for both people. A pattern where one person is not constantly pulling while the other decides whether to move. Because relentless pursuit can create an imbalance. The more one person carries, the less the other. Air is required to reveal. If you always initiate, you never learn whether they would. If you always repair, you never learn whether they know how. If you always make the plan, you never discover whether they are willing to invest. If you always explain away disappointing behavior, you never see what happens when responsibility is left where it belongs. You can accidentally become so capable at holding the connection together that the other person's capacity remains hidden. This is why stepping back can feel frightening. It is not only silence you fear, it is information. What will happen if you stop supplying all the movement? That question can make the heart race. Because deep inside, you may suspect that some connections have survived largely because of your effort. But knowing this is not a punishment, it is useful. Truth gives you choices. Confusion keeps you repeating. When you are calm enough to let patterns reveal themselves, you no longer have to guess so much. You begin to learn who moves toward you voluntarily, who checks on you without prompting, who follows through, who remembers the important details, who makes time rather than merely making promises about time, who can meet an uncomfortable conversation without vanishing, who can be accountable without turning your pain into an argument about their intentions. These things cannot be manufactured through extra effort from you. They must come from the other person. That is one of the great reliefs of mature connection. You do not have to perform both sides. There is a quiet strength in letting another person carry their part. At first, that may feel like doing nothing. It is not. You are making room for reality. You are no longer filling every silence so quickly that nothing else has the chance to emerge. You are no longer answering questions that were never asked. You are no longer volunteering explanations for someone else's behavior. You are no longer rushing to repair discomfort that may contain useful information. You are learning that not every uncomfortable feeling requires immediate action. Some feelings need company, not solutions. Some fears need to be heard until they become smaller. Some uncertainty needs time. You can sit with the ache of not knowing and still remain whole. You can feel the urge to reach and choose not to obey it immediately. You can give yourself an hour, an evening, a night, a full day, not as a tactic, as a way of returning choice to your own hands. An impulse says, act now. Self-trust says, I can decide. That difference is powerful. It is the difference between reacting from fear and responding from clarity. Sometimes you will still choose to reach out. There is nothing wrong with initiating contact. There is nothing wrong with expressing affection first. There is nothing wrong with saying you miss someone. There is nothing wrong with asking for a conversation. Healthy intimacy is not a contest over who cares less. The shift is not from openness to coldness. The shift is from compulsion to choice. You can send a message because it expresses something true. Not because your sense of safety depends on the answer. You can say, I would like to see you. Then let the response tell you what it tells you. You can say, this matters to me. Then listen to what comes back. You can say, I need more consistency than this. Then observe whether the relationship has room for that truth. You do not have to chase agreement after speaking clearly. You do not have to make your needs smaller if someone finds it inconvenient. You do not have to turn a boundary into a debate. This is where many people confuse acceptance with approval. You can accept what someone is showing you without approving of it. Acceptance means you stop bargaining with the evidence. You stop saying, it should be different, long enough to ask, what will I do if this is exactly what it is? That question puts you back in your own life. You are no longer waiting for another person's transformation before you can make a decision. You become free to choose based on what exists now. That can be painful. It can also be merciful, because waiting for potential can consume years. A person may become more available someday. They may learn to communicate differently. They may heal. They may become ready for what you hope to build. All of that is possible. But your life cannot be placed on indefinite hold for someone else's possible future. You can wish them growth without making your peace dependent on the schedule of that growth. You can care without making a contract with possibility. There is dignity in meeting people where they are. There is equal dignity in deciding that where they are is not where you can remain. You do not need resentment to move forward. Anger is not required. A dramatic ending is not required. You do not have to make anyone wrong. Sometimes two truths can exist at once. They may be doing the best they know how to do, and their best may still not be healthy for you. They may genuinely care, and care may still not be enough to create a stable relationship. They may have beautiful qualities, and the connection may still leave you depleted. They may mean every promise when they make it. And repeated broken promises may still tell you something important. You do not have to erase the good to honor the difficult. That is a mature form of discernment. It does not rewrite the past. It sees the whole picture. For a long time, you may have believed that seeing the whole picture meant giving endless understanding. You understood their childhood, their fear, their stress, their work, their previous heartbreak, their difficulty trusting, their tendency to withdraw, their fear of commitment, their need for space. Understanding can be compassionate. But understanding becomes self-erasure when it is used to make your own pain irrelevant. Their reasons matter. Your experience matters too. One does not cancel the other. This balance may feel unfamiliar if you were taught to be the person who accommodates. Perhaps you learned early to read the room. You sensed moods before anyone spoke. You became skilled at preventing conflict. You learned which subjects were safe. You learned when to stay quiet. You learned how to make things easier for other people. Maybe being easy became part of how you earned approval. So when a relationship became uncertain later in life, an old skill returned. Adjust, adapt, be useful. Do not ask for too much. Do not make them uncomfortable. Be patient. Be impressive. Stay pleasant. Keep giving. If that pattern lives in you, it was learned for a reason. It helped you somewhere. It may once have helped you stay connected to people whose attention or affection felt unpredictable. You do not need to despise the version of you who learned that. That version was intelligent. It was trying to belong. It was trying to create safety with the tools available at the time. But tools that protected you once can become burdens when you carry them everywhere. You do not have to keep earning connection through usefulness. You do not have to be endlessly accommodating to deserve a place in someone's life. You do not have to anticipate everyone's needs before they are spoken. You do not have to become indispensable in order to feel secure. There is a deeper kind of bond where your presence is not valued only for what you provide. You can be cared for when you are tired. You can be cared for when you have nothing impressive to offer. You can be cared for when you say no. You can be cared for when you disagree. You can be cared for when you need support. You can be cared for when you are not performing strength. This idea may touch an old place in you. A place that learned to say, if I stop giving, will anyone stay? That question deserves tenderness, because beneath it is often a very old sentence. I am not enough as I am. Perhaps no one ever said those exact words to you. Lessons do not always arrive as sentences. Sometimes they arrive through repetition. Attention came when you achieved. Approval came when you behaved. Warmth came when you were helpful. Peace returned when you apologized first. Acceptance felt safest when you did not cause trouble. Over time, a child or young person can make a quiet conclusion. If I am easy enough, useful enough, attractive enough, successful enough, calm enough, giving enough, then I will be safe from rejection. The conclusion may follow you long after the original circumstances are gone. You can become an adult still trying to pass an exam no one formally as signed. And because the exam has no clear ending, you never feel finished. There is always another way to improve yourself, another trait to correct, another reason someone might leave, another way to become more desirable, another way to become less demanding. This is exhausting because it begins from a false premise. The premise says you must become acceptable before you can be loved well. But human connection does not work that way. No amount of perfection can guarantee another person's capacity. You can be extraordinary and still meet someone unavailable. You can be kind and still meet someone inconsistent. You can communicate beautifully and still meet someone who avoids honest conversation. You can have done years of inner work and still encounter a relationship that does not fit. Another person's limitations are not a measurement instrument for your value. They are information about that person. This can take time to absorb. You may understand it intellectually and still feel rejection as a verdict. That is where repetition of a new truth becomes useful. Not magical repetition, not pretending something does not hurt. A quieter repetition. When someone does not choose what you hoped they would choose, you remind yourself, this is information, not identity. When someone does not respond as you hoped, this is information, not identity. When plans fall through, information, not identity. When someone becomes distant, information, not identity. When a connection ends, information, not identity. The event tells you something about compatibility, timing, capacity, desire, readiness, circumstance. It does not summarize your entire being. You are larger than any single response. When you begin separating identity from outcome, the fear of outcome starts losing its grip. You become more willing to let people show you the truth, because the truth is no longer allowed to define you. That makes you stronger in a very peaceful way. You do not need to control every result. You need to trust the person who will meet the result. You, the one who will wake up the next morning, the one who will make tea or coffee, the one who will go on breathing, the one who will hurt if there is hurt, the one who will heal, the one who will learn, the one who will eventually laugh again, the one who will keep living. There is tremendous stability in remembering that you remain. People may arrive, people may leave, plans may change, promises may fail, new doors may open, old ones may close. Your task is not to freeze every good thing in place. Your task is to become someone who does not abandon herself when life changes. That is the ground beneath all healthier relationships. When you stop abandoning yourself, your decisions begin changing before your circumstances do. You pause before saying yes. You hear the discomfort you used to ignore. You stop translating inconsistency into potential. You stop calling bare minimum effort mysterious depth. You become less impressed by intensity without follow-through. You become more interested in how your life feels over time. You begin valuing steadiness, not because steadiness is glamorous, because steadiness gives your heart somewhere to rest. You may also become less interested in convincing someone to understand you. This can be one of the greatest releases. There are people who will misunderstand your boundary because your boundary limits their access. There are people who may call you different because the old version of you was easier for them. There are people who may say you have changed. They may be right. Change is not always betrayal. Sometimes change is evidence that you finally listened to your own life. You can respond without hostility. You can remain kind. You can explain once if explanation feels useful. Then you can stop. You are not required to submit your inner decisions for public approval. Your life is not a courtroom. You do not need 12 exhibits and 3 witnesses to justify your exhaustion. If something repeatedly diminishes your peace, you can take that seriously. If your body tightens every time the same pattern returns, you can take that seriously. If you are constantly confused by behavior that is supposed to represent care, you can take that seriously. Your internal experience is not infallible. Fear can distort. Old wounds can exaggerate danger. This is why reflection matters. But reflection is different from invalidation. Reflection asks, what is true here? Invalidation says, whatever I feel must be wrong. You are learning the first. You can question your interpretation without questioning your right to have an experience. You can seek perspective. You can talk to trusted people. You can journal. You can give situations time. You can look for patterns rather than isolated moments. Then you can choose from a clearer place. This is not about making quicker judgments. It is about making fewer excuses once a pattern has become clear. There is freedom in that. You become less available for endless ambiguity. Not because every relationship must be immediately defined. Some connections unfold slowly. Some people need time. Some circumstances are complicated. The issue is not slowness. The issue is whether there is mutual movement within the slowness, whether honesty is increasing, whether care can be felt, whether respect remains present, whether both people are participating in what is being built. If those things are there, patience can be beautiful. If they are absent, waiting can become self-neglect. Only you can learn the difference in your own life, and you learn it by becoming more honest with yourself. Honesty is sometimes quieter than hope. Hope says, this could become wonderful, and Sty asks, what has it consistently been? Hope looks forward. Honesty also looks around. You need both. Hope without honesty can keep you trapped. Honesty without hope can make you hard. Together, they make you wise. You can honor possibility while standing firmly in the present. You can say, I see what could be, and I also see what is. That one sentence can protect years of your life. It lets possibility remain possibility. It does not turn possibility into a promise. You no longer have to live as though every beautiful beginning guarantees a beautiful continuation. Beginnings are information. Continuations are information too. Who someone becomes after familiarity matters. How they treat you after comfort sets in matters. How conflict is handled matters. How disappointment is repaired matters. How your no is received matters. How your yes is respected matters. How you feel after repeated contact matters. Do you feel more grounded, more yourself, more able to speak? Or do you feel as though you are constantly trying to keep the temperature right? These questions are not accusations. They are a compass. And your compass becomes easier to read when fear is not grabbing the needle. That is why your inner steadiness matters so much. It does not control anyone. It clarifies you. You begin making choices based less on panic and more on alignment with the life you want. A life where affection does not require self-betrayal. A life where you can be generous without being drained. A life where closeness does not depend on constant proof. A life where mutual effort is ordinary. A life where your boundaries are not emergencies. A life where a pause in communication does not destroy your sense of self. A life where you can let another human being be free because you are no longer using their freedom as evidence against yourself. This is one of the deepest forms of respect. You do not control them. You do not control yourself into a smaller shape to influence them. You let them choose, and you choose too. You let them show what they want, and you listen. You let their actions belong to them, and you keep your identity with you. That is the beginning of a different kind of relationship with life. Less grasping, more observing, less proving, more choosing, less fear-driven effort, more steadiness. You may still feel the old impulse tomorrow. You may still pick up your phone. You may still wonder whether you should say something. You may still feel a flash of panic when someone becomes quiet. Progress does not mean those reactions vanish overnight. The change is that you no longer treat every reaction as an instruction. You can feel something without becoming it. You can experience fear without handing it the steering wheel. You can want reassurance without demanding that another person regulate your entire inner world. You can miss someone without losing yourself in the missing. You can care deeply without turning care into pursuit. And slowly, the person you are becoming begins to trust your own presence. She learns that you will not trade her peace for temporary attention. She learns that you will not silence her needs to keep someone interested. She learns that you will not ask her to become smaller whenever another person becomes uncertain. She learns that disappointment will be faced honestly. She learns that endings will be grieved rather than turned into self-condemnation. She learns that solitude will not be treated as failure. She learns that being unchosen by one person does not make her unchoosable. This is how an old belief loses power. Not because you attack it, because your actions stop feeding it. Each time you keep your dignity during uncertainty, you teach yourself something new. Each time you do not over-explain, something changes. Each time you let another person carry their share, something changes. Each time you listen to repeated behavior instead of rewriting it, something changes. Each time you remain kind without abandoning your limits, something changes. The old sentence becomes less convincing. The new life becomes more believable, and you begin to understand that what you once called being difficult may have been your inner wisdom asking for a healthier place to stand. You are not asking life for too much by wanting reciprocity. You are not unreasonable for wanting clarity. You are not selfish for wanting your care to be met with care. You are not unkind for deciding that confusion cannot be your permanent home. The lesson is changing. You no longer measure devotion by how much discomfort you can endure. You no longer measure your value by how hard you can work to keep someone near. You no longer treat anxiety as evidence of a profound bond. You are becoming available for a connection that does not require you to disappear inside it. And before anything outside you changes, this understanding begins restoring something inside you. A steadier voice, a clearer center, a quieter trust. The feeling that you can stand in your own life without reaching for someone else to tell you that the ground is there. There is nothing shameful about the ways you once tried to keep connection alive. You were working with the beliefs available to you. You were protecting hope. You were trying to make sense of distance. You were trying to create safety where you did not yet know how to create it within yourself. That does not make your past choices foolish. It makes them human. There may have been seasons when you stayed because leaving felt more frightening than waiting. There may have been seasons when one warm moment seemed powerful enough to erase 10 confusing ones. There may have been seasons when you kept believing the next conversation would finally settle everything. You were not weak. You were attached to possibility. You were attached to memories that still felt alive. You were attached to the version of the future you had quietly built in your mind. And sometimes the hardest thing to release is not a person. It is the future you thought that person represented, the morning you imagined, the home you pictured, the ordinary conversations you expected to have, the celebrations, the small rituals, the comfort of knowing where you belonged. When reality does not become what you pictured, grief can arrive in strange forms. You may miss something that never fully existed. You may grieve a life that was never actually lived. That grief is still real. Your heart does not measure loss only by what happened. It also feels what was anticipated. So there is no need to criticize yourself for taking time to come back to center. A dream can take time to loosen. A hope can take time to change shape. A familiar pattern can take time to stop feeling like home. But something important happens when you stop using your past as evidence against yourself. You become teachable again. You begin asking, what was I trying to protect? Instead of, what was wrong with me? That question opens a kinder door. Perhaps you were trying to protect belonging. Perhaps you were trying to protect the belief that persistence eventually wins affection. Perhaps you were trying to protect yourself from the pain of starting over. Perhaps you believed leaving meant failure. Perhaps you believed a good person never gives up. Perhaps you thought patience would eventually be rewarded. Perhaps you had been praised all your life for enduring. These beliefs can live quietly for years. Then one relationship exposes them. One period of uncertainty reveals how much of your identity has been tied to being the one who stays, the one who understands, the one who waits, the one who can handle more. But endurance is not the only virtue. Discernment is a virtue too. Knowing when to stop participating in your own depletion is wisdom. Choosing peace over familiar chaos is wisdom. Recognizing that your heart cannot thrive on inconsistency is wisdom. You do not have to become hardened to learn this. You do not have to become suspicious of everyone. You do not have to make a vow never to need anyone. That is not freedom. Freedom is being able to care while remaining rooted in yourself. It is being able to welcome closeness without handing over your identity. It is being able to enjoy another person without making them responsible for your entire sense of security. It is being able to say yes without disappearing. It is being able to say no without believing you have become cruel. You are restoring balance. That restoration often begins in places no one else can see. You stop apologizing for having a feeling. You stop correcting your own truth before you speak it. You stop introducing every boundary with a long explanation. You stop assuming the other person's discomfort means you have done something wrong. You stop taking responsibility for reactions that belong to someone else. That does not mean you become careless with people. It means care is no longer one-directional. You include yourself in the circle. For someone who has spent years thinking about everyone else first, that can feel almost rebellious. It may feel selfish. It may feel unfamiliar. Old conditioning often protests when you change. It says, you are becoming difficult. But sometimes difficult only means less convenient to people who benefited from your silence. Sometimes difficult means you now ask a question instead of pretending not to have one. Sometimes difficult means you leave the room before resentment fills it. Sometimes difficult means you no longer agree just to preserve harmony. Sometimes difficult means you expect words and behavior to have some relationship to one another. There is nothing cruel about that. Healthy connection can withstand reality. It can withstand honest needs. It can withstand a boundary. It can withstand a pause. It can withstand two people having different preferences. It can withstand the fact that you are a full person. Any relationship that requires you to become increasingly absent from yourself is asking too high a price. You may have paid that price before. You do not need to continue paying it because you once began. Past investment is not a command to invest forever. Time already spent is not a reason to spend more. The fact that you have loved deeply does not require you to ignore what you now understand. Your past commitment deserves respect. Your present clarity deserves respect too. You are permitted to know more now. You are permitted to make a different choice because you have different information. That is not inconsistency. That is growth. The older belief may still whisper that if you had been better, calmer, more attractive, more patient, less demanding, or more impressive, everything would have worked. This is one of the most painful illusions. because it gives you false control. If the problem was always you, then fixing yourself seems like a way to prevent future pain. But relationships are not equations where one perfect person can guarantee a perfect outcome. Two histories meet, two capacities meet, two sets of fears meet, two ways of communicating meet, two levels of readiness meet, two lives meet. Sometimes they fit, sometimes they partly fit, sometimes they fit for a season, sometimes they do not. That is not a moral verdict. It is part of being alive. The old sentence inside you may have turned every mismatch into self-criticism. If someone withdrew, you searched yourself for the defect. If someone chose differently, you wondered what another person had that you lacked. If someone failed to recognize your depth, you tried to become easier to recognize. If someone did not stay, you assumed staying was something you had failed to earn. You can stop assigning yourself that role. You are not responsible for becoming irresistible to everyone you care about. You are not responsible for making every connection last. You are not responsible for preventing another person from changing their mind. You are responsible for how you treat yourself when life does not go according to hope. That responsibility is enough. It is also liberating because it gives you something real to work with. You cannot control whether another person returns a message. You can control whether you turn the silence into a sentence about your value. You cannot control whether someone is ready. You can control whether you spend years trying to weight them into readiness. You cannot control whether someone recognizes what you bring. You can control whether their blindness becomes your mirror. This is the rebuilding, not louder confidence. Not pretending rejection does not sting. Not declaring that you need no one. A quieter faith in your own continuity. You remain. You remain through the unanswered question. You remain through the changed plan. You remain through the ending. You remain through the beginning that never became what you hoped. You remain after the fantasy falls away. And the more often you discover that you remain, the less desperately you have to hold what is uncertain. This is where your hands begin to loosen, not because nothing matters, because you matter too. You stop gripping every possibility until your palms ache. You stop pulling tomorrow toward you. You stop trying to drag clarity out of someone who has chosen vagueness. You let reality arrive at its own pace. You let people reveal themselves through repetition. You let your life become larger than one unanswered longing. At first, the quiet may feel empty. Then you begin hearing yourself. Not the frightened voice that asks who will stay. A deeper voice. The one that asks where you are meant to stand. That voice does not rush. It does not bargain. It does not make extravagant promises. It remembers something your fear forgets. What truly belongs in your life does not require you to destroy yourself in pursuit of it. There is an old creature that knows something about this. Far from the place where it began, a salmon can spend years in vast open water. Its world becomes enormous. Cold currents carry it through distances that would seem impossible from the narrow beginning of its life. The river where it first moved through water becomes far behind it. Seasons pass. The body changes. The landscape disappears. There is no visible road across the ocean, no painted sign, no map held in a fin, no voice giving turn-by-turn direction, only an ancient orientation carried within. Then comes the return. Across immense water, through changing currents, the salmon begins moving toward the coast from which it once departed. Not toward every river, not toward any water that happens to be nearby, toward a particular place, the one current among countless currents, the one system that leads inland, the one path that carries the signature of origin. Imagine the scale of it. An ocean wide enough to erase any ordinary sense of direction. Years between departure and return. Storms, predators, changing temperatures. Miles upon miles of water without landmarks a human eye would trust. Still, something remembers. Scientists have studied the remarkable ways salmon navigate, including their sensitivity to Earth's magnetic field and the chemical signature of their home waters. The biology is extraordinary, but tonight you do not need to turn it into a miracle. Its real nature is beautiful enough. A living body carries information from where it began. Then, when the time comes, that information helps guide the way. There is a lesson in this that does not require superstition. Not everything meaningful has to be chased down. Some things are recognized through fit, through pattern, through memory, through an inner correspondence between what is seeking and what can truly hold it. The salmon does not make every river become home. It does not stand at the mouth of unfamiliar water and argue with the current. It does not spend its strength persuading the wrong tributary to become the right one. It moves according to recognition. This water, this direction, this way. There is something deeply restful in that. You may have spent part of your life trying to make unfamiliar emotional territory become home because you wanted the story to work. You tried to adapt yourself to currents that never quite carried you. You tried to call instability passion. You tried to call waiting devotion. You tried to call repeated confusion depth. You tried to convince yourself that if you remained long enough, the water would eventually become familiar. But the body often knows before the mind admits it. The sleeplessness, the constant checking, the tightness before difficult conversations, the way you rehearsed your words, the relief when a little warmth returned, the exhaustion after every cycle. These were signals, not proof that someone was bad, not proof that you were bad, signals that something in the pattern did not let you rest. A salmon returning home does not need to hate the ocean it leaves. The ocean was part of its life. It fed it, changed it, strengthened it, made the return possible. This matters for you too. You do not need to despise an old chapter to leave it behind. It may have taught you. It may have given you beautiful days. It may have keened parts of you. It may have shown you what you long for. It may also have shown you what you cannot continue accepting. Both can be true. The ocean is not wrong because the river calls. The river is not better because it is familiar. They serve different purposes. Some people belong to a chapter. Some experiences belong to a season. Some connections awaken you without becoming permanent. You can honor their place without forcing them into a role they cannot hold. There is maturity in letting a chapter be what it was. No inflation, no erasure, no rewriting, just truth. You were there. You felt what you felt. You learned what you learned. Now you move according to what you know. Think of the return again. The salmon does not cross great distance because it has been promised an easy path. The final movement upstream can be demanding. Water pushes against the body. Rocks interrupt the flow. The path narrows. The journey requires strength. Recognition does not mean ease. It means direction. That distinction matters. A healthy life is not a life without difficulty. A meaningful bond will still ask things of you. Patience, honesty, repair, humility, courage. The question is not whether effort exists. The question is whether the effort leads somewhere true. Some effort strengthens connection. Other effort merely keeps you trapped in the same uncertainty. Some conversations deepen understanding. Others repeat the same wound under different wording. Some compromises create partnership. Others teach you to betray yourself slowly. Direction changes the meaning of effort. If you are moving toward mutuality, honest effort can feel demanding and still be nourishing. If you are moving in circles, even small effort can become exhausting. This is why your inner compass matters. Not because it guarantees a perfect destination, because it helps you recognize when you have been swimming against yourself. You may have mistaken constant resistance for a sign that you needed to try harder. Sometimes resistance means perseverance is needed. Sometimes it means the path is wrong. Wisdom grows as you learn the difference. Your body can help. Your patterns can help. Your history can help. The behavior in front of you can help. You do not have to make the decision from one difficult day. Look at the whole current. Where has this been taking you? Toward greater honesty? Toward greater peace? Toward mutual trust? Toward being more fully yourself? Or toward more self-doubt? More monitoring? More shrinking? more emotional labor, more waiting. Your life leaves evidence. You can read it. And when you do, you may discover that what you were afraid to lose was not always where you belonged. That realization can be tender. There can be sorrow in it. There can also be relief, because belonging is not supposed to require constant persuasion. A river does not need to be convinced to be a river. Its banks do not hold meetings about whether the water deserves passage. The current does not ask the fish to become less itself before entry. The relationship is written into the nature of the place. Human relationships are more complex, of course. People choose, people change, people carry wounds and responsibilities. No metaphor can replace real life. But the image can still remind you of something simple. Fit matters. Reciprocity matters. Recognition matters. A life built only on pursuit forgets these things. It assumes everything valuable must be captured before it disappears. A calmer life asks a different question. What knows how to meet me? Not perfectly, not magically, not without communication, but genuinely. What has room for who I actually am? What does not require me to become endlessly strategic? What lets truth travel both ways? What can survive honesty? What carries some natural movement toward me while I move toward it? This is not passivity. The salmon moves. It does not float lazily and expect the river to collect it. It uses its strength. It commits to direction. It responds to what it recognizes. That is different from frantic pursuit. You can act in your life without begging. You can express interest. You can speak first. You can make an invitation. You can take a relational risk. You can tell someone how you feel. Then you can watch what meets you. That is the balance. Movement without self-erasure. Desire without desperation. Openness without surrendering discernment. You are not being asked to stop participating in your life. You are being asked to stop doing everyone else's part. Let them move too. Let them choose too. Let them reveal what direction they are taking. You do not have to swim for two. The old pattern may resist this. It may say, if I stop carrying everything, I could lose it. Yes, you could discover that something cannot stand without your over-effort. But that discovery is not failure. It is clarity. And clarity, even when painful, eventually gives back the strength confusion consumed. The returning salmon does not apologize for knowing its direction. It does not ask the ocean for permission. It does not call itself selfish for turning toward origin. It responds to what is written into its nature. You have signals too, not supernatural instructions, human ones, your values, your needs, your sense of integrity, your repeated experience, your capacity, your limits, the life you want to wake up inside. These are real. You can use them. You can stop treating your deepest needs as inconveniences that must be negotiated away before anyone comes close. You can stop assuming that being accepting means accepting everything. You can stop confusing openness with having no gate. You can stop standing in emotional waters that keep telling your body it is lost. There are places where you will not need to fight so hard to remain yourself. There are conversations where honesty will not feel like a threat to the whole bond. There are people who will not need to be persuaded to participate. There are forms of closeness where silence can exist without punishment. There are relationships in which your no does not erase affection. There are relationships in which your yes is not taken for granted. You do not have to know exactly where those experiences are tonight. You do not have to name who will bring them. You do not have to predict the future. Readiness is enough. Direction is enough. A commitment to stop betraying yourself is enough for this moment. You can let the larger future remain open. You can let it surprise you. You can move by what you know now. There is a river somewhere in the memory of the salmon. Not as a photograph, not as a sentimental story, as information carried deep enough to matter years later. And there is a memory in you too, a memory of what peace feels like before you begin overthinking, a memory of what your voice sounds like before you start editing it for acceptance, a memory of what your body feels like when it is not waiting for another person's next move, a memory of yourself before approval became so important. You may not have lived from that place for a long time. It has not disappeared. You are returning to it, not backward, deeper. Returning does not mean becoming who you were before experience. The salmon that comes back is not the tiny creature that first entered the water. It has crossed distance. It has changed. It carries the ocean in its body. It returns transformed. So do you. You are not going back to innocence. You are coming back with discernment, with history, with clearer eyes, with fewer illusions, with compassion that no longer requires self-neglect, with tenderness that knows where it can safely rest. Everything you have lived has come with you. Nothing useful needs to be discarded. You bring the lessons. You bring the courage. You bring the knowledge of what uncertainty costs. You bring the understanding that attention is not the same as commitment. You bring the ability to recognize when words and behavior are moving in opposite directions. You bring a quieter relationship with yourself. This is your return, not to a person, not to a past life, to your own center. And from that center, you do not need to make every river yours. You only need to become honest enough to recognize where your life can move without abandoning itself. The deeper you return to yourself, the less urgent the outer world begins to feel. You do not need every answer tonight. You do not know. You need to know who will stay. You do not need to know which door will open. You do not need to know how every unfinished story ends. There is peace in letting some things remain unfinished while you become clear about yourself. The river does not reveal every bend from its beginning. Water moves by meeting what is directly before it. A stone, a narrowing bank, a deeper channel, a sudden turn. Movement continues without requiring the whole landscape to be visible at once. You can live this way too, one honest choice at a time, one boundary at a time, one moment of refusing to abandon yourself, one decision not to force what has not met you halfway. You have spent enough time trying to see around every bend, trying to predict what another person will do, trying to understand what silence means before silence has finished speaking, trying to protect yourself from disappointment by solving tomorrow tonight. The mind believes prediction can create safety. Sometimes planning is wise. Sometimes anticipation is useful. But in matters of the heart, too much prediction becomes another form of control. You begin rehearsing futures that may never happen. You suffer conversations no one has started. You prepare explanations for questions no one has asked. You picture endings while standing inside the present. Then the body carries pain from events that exist only in possibility. You deserve another way. You can let tomorrow arrive without meeting it exhausted. You can leave a little future for the future. The salmon crossing open water does not need to understand every mile at once. It does not solve the entire journey in one moment. Direction lives through a series of responses. A current is felt. Orientation is adjusted. Movement continues. Far away, the coastal waters remain unseen. Farther still, the river is hidden beyond land. And deeper inland, the gravel bed where life began cannot possibly be visible from the open ocean. Still, the journey can begin before the destination is seen. That is important for you. You do not have to see the relationship, opportunity, season, or place that will fit your life before you stop clinging to what does not. You do not need proof of the next chapter before honoring the truth of this one. You do not need a replacement before releasing a pattern. You do not need another person waiting nearby before you choose yourself. That is where self-trust grows strongest. Not when you leave one certainty because another certainty is already guaranteed. When you can release what diminishes you even while the next shore remains unseen. There is courage in that. Quiet courage. You may have believed courage always feels strong. Often it does not. Sometimes courage feels like uncertainty without self-betrayal. You do not know what happens next, and you still refuse to beg the past to become your future. Ciao go. You do not know who will understand your new boundary, and you keep it anyway. You do not know whether the empty space will be filled soon, and you stop filling it with the wrong things. You do not know whether someone will rise to meet your honesty, and you speak honestly. This kind of courage is not dramatic. It may never be seen by another person, but you feel its effect. Your inner world becomes less divided. One part of you no longer has to silence another part just to preserve a connection. You begin standing in one place inside yourself. The relief can be subtle at first. You sleep a little more deeply. You check less often. You stop composing messages you never wanted to send. You no longer feel compelled to explain a boundary 5 different ways. You start letting people have their reactions. This matters. Other people are permitted to be disappointed. They are permitted to misunderstand. They are permitted to want more access than you can give. They are permitted to prefer the old version of you. Their preferences are theirs. Your integrity is yours. You can care about their feelings without making those feelings your instructions. For someone accustomed to over-accommodating, this can feel uncomfortable. Stay with the discomfort. Not every uncomfortable feeling means you have done something wrong. Sometimes discomfort is the sensation of an old habit losing authority. You say no and feel guilty. The guilt does not automatically mean the no was wrong. You stop initiating every interaction and feel restless. The restlessness does not automatically mean you need to act. You decline something you would once have accepted and feel selfish. The feeling does not prove selfishness. An old system is adjusting. It was accustomed to one rule. Keep everyone comfortable, then you can relax. The new rule is different. Stay honest and let comfort come afterward. That may take practice. You are capable of practice. The salmon does not find its river because the whole journey is effortless. There are wrong currents. There are obstacles. There are stretches where progress is slow. There are places where the water itself presses back. Still, orientation matters more than speed. This is one of the most useful truths you can carry into your relationships. Speed is not the same as direction. Intensity is not the same as direction. Frequency is not the same as direction. Chemistry is not the same as direction. A connection can move quickly and still move nowhere healthy. Another can unfold slowly while becoming increasingly clear, steady, and mutual. Do not let speed impress you more than alignment. Do not let intensity convince you more than consistency. Do not let words outrun what behavior can support. Watch the current. Where is this actually going? Does honesty deepen it? Does time strengthen it? Does mutual care become more visible? Can both people exit as whole individuals inside it? Are differences handled with respect? Does the bond have room for reality? These questions protect you better than fantasy ever could. Fantasy is not evil. It is part of imagination. It can show you what you long for. But imagination is most useful when it points toward values rather than attaching those values to one specific person. You may long for partnership. That longing is real. You may long for tenderness. That longing is real. You may long for steadiness, laughter, companionship, affection, shared mornings, deep conversations, and a sense that someone is walking beside you. None of these desires have to disappear because one person could not meet them. That is an important separation. The desire can remain even when the attachment changes. You do not have to bury the dream because one version of it did not unfold. You can keep the essence, release the assignment. You may have assigned one face to the future, one voice, one name, one possibility. Then, when reality shifted, you thought the whole future had disappeared. It had not. Only one imagined route had closed. The qualities you long for can still exist in ways you cannot yet see. You do not need to decide where they will come from. You only need to stop insisting that they arrive through a path that repeatedly refuses to carry them. This is where the river teaches you something about recognition. A river is not every body of water. The ocean is vast, but vastness alone does not make it home. A lake can be beautiful and still not be the place of return. A neighboring stream can be clear and still not carry the same signature. Difference does not make one place inferior. It means not everything that is beautiful is yours to remain inside. You can admire what does not fit you. You can appreciate what you should not build your life around. You can bless a season without extending it forever. You can remember someone fondly without reopening a door. You can acknowledge attraction without interpreting it as destiny. You can feel a bond without deciding that the bond must become permanent. This gives the heart room to become wiser. It does not have to deny feeling. It learns how to hold feeling without obeying every conclusion feeling produces. You can feel deeply and choose carefully. Those two qualities belong together. Depth without discernment can become entanglement. Discernment without depth can become distance. Together, they create mature intimacy. You stay open, you also stay awake. That is the posture you are learning now. Open, but not pleading. Interested, but not abandoning yourself. Hopeful, but not blind. Tender, but not available for repeated harm. Present, but not gripping. You can want something without making it your only acceptable outcome. You can express desire without becoming dependent on a particular answer. You can make room for another person while keeping room for yourself. This is not emotional detachment. It is emotional balance. There is another part of the salmon's return that carries meaning for you. The river is not shouting across the ocean. It does not send demands. It does not argue. It does not prove itself from a distance. It remains what it is. Its waters continue moving. Its mineral traces remain present. Its path remains itself. The returning creature recognizes what matches the memory carried within. Think about that for a moment. The river does not become more worthy of return by running after the salmon. It does not leave its banks and spread itself across the ocean in panic. It does not become another kind of water to increase its chances of being found. It remains true to its nature. There is strength in that image. You have often tried to become more findable by leaving yourself, more appealing, more agreeable, more available, more forgiving than you truly felt, more relaxed than your body actually was, less expressive, less demanding, less complicated, less honest. You moved your own banks. Then wondered why you felt flooded. You do not have to do that anymore. You can remain where your values place you. You can let your no be a no. Your yes can be a real yes. Your pace can be your pace. Your need for consistency can remain intact. Your desire for honest communication can remain intact. Your preference for mutual effort can remain intact. You do not need to scatter pieces of yourself into every direction, hoping someone will gather them. The right kind of closeness does not require that performance. It asks for presence, theirs and yours. That presence may still require effort. You will still have to speak, listen, repair, apologize when needed, grow, compromise, learn another person. Let yourself be learned. But you will not be the only one bringing the water. You will not be the only one remembering the way. That is where your core truth begins tonight. Let the words come slowly, not as a guarantee about another human being, not as a prediction, not as a command to life, as a statement about the kind of relationship you are ready to recognize. What belongs with me remembers the way. You do not need to force yourself to believe every part of that immediately. Just hear it. What belongs with me remembers the way. Let it mean that mutual things contain mutual movement. Let it mean that healthy closeness does not depend on one person doing all the remembering, initiating, repairing, and carrying. Let it mean that a fitting path has some ability to meet you as you meet it, and once more without strain. What belongs with me remembers the way. There is no specific face in say to that sentence, no promised return, no guaranteed outcome. It leaves life open. It leaves other people free. It leaves you free too. That freedom is important because real connection cannot be built from coercion, not emotional coercion, not strategic silence, not disappearing to provoke attention, not withholding warmth to create pursuit, not pretending indifference so someone becomes afraid to lose you. Those are still attempts to control the current. Your new strength does not depend on games. You can be sincere, you can be warm, you can be clear. Then you let the response be information. If someone meets sincerity with sincerity, you see it. If someone meets it with avoidance, you see that too. If someone does not know what they want, you do not have to make the decision for them. You can let uncertainty belong to the person who is uncertain. That is a profound change. You may have spent years taking another person's confusion into your own body. They were unsure, and you became anxious. They were inconsistent, and you became more active. They were distant, and you became more available. They became vague, and you started explaining more clearly. Their lack of direction created extra labor for you. Now you can stop translating someone else's uncertainty into your assignment. If they do not know, they do not know. You can care and still step out of the waiting room. Your life is not required to remain suspended while another person searches for an answer. This does not mean issuing ultimatums every time someone needs reflection. People deserve room to think. Important choices sometimes take time. The question is whether the process itself respects you. Is there communication? Is there honesty? Is there consideration? Is the uncertainty named, or are you expected to pretend it does not exist? Are you free to make choices for your life too? Healthy space does not require one person to disappear while the other waits indefinitely. It has truth inside it, and when truth is present, even uncertainty can feel different. You do not have to interpret every hour. You know what is happening. You know what has been said. You know what you are choosing. Your mind can rest. That rest matters. The more secure you become within yourself, the less attractive chronic confusion becomes. What once felt exciting may begin to feel tiring. What once triggered intense fascination may begin to look familiar in a way you no longer want. You start recognizing patterns earlier, not because you are suspicious, because you have lived long enough to know what certain currents do. You know where over-explaining tends to lead. You know how it feels when you start earning basic consideration. You know what happens when your needs are repeatedly postponed. You know the particular exhaustion of being reassured by words while behavior remains unchanged. Experience becomes useful when it helps you respond sooner. You do not have to repeat a lesson at full volume before believing it. A quieter version can be enough. A familiar ache can be enough to ask a question. A familiar pattern can be enough to slow down. A familiar imbalance can be enough to stop adding more effort before you understand what is happening. This is not fear. It is memory becoming wisdom. The salmon carries memory as orientation. You carry yours too. Your history does not have to become a prison. It can become navigation. There is a difference. A prison says, because this happened before, it will happen again. Navigation says, because I learned before, I can choose differently now. A prison expects danger everywhere. Navigation pays attention. A prison closes. Navigation adjusts. You are not being asked to distrust the future. You are being asked to bring your learning with you. You can meet a new person without making them answer for someone old. You can enter a new bond without assuming abandonment is waiting. You can remain open while also recognizing what consistency looks like. This is how you stop repeating without becoming hardened. You let memory inform you without letting memory rule you. If the core sentence feels too large tonight, use something smaller. You do not have to leap into absolute certainty. You can say, I am willing to stop forcing direction. That is enough. Willingness is enough for tonight. You do not have to master this. You do not have to transform every habit before you sleep. You do not have to promise you will never overreach again. Old patterns may return under stress. They may return when you feel lonely. They may return when someone matters deeply. They may return when an old wound is touched. If that happens, do not turn one difficult moment into a verdict about your growth. Return. That is the practice. Return to your breath. Return to what has actually happened. Return to your values. Return to the question of mutuality. Return to the sentence that keeps your dignity intact. What belongs with me remembers the way. Then leave some space. Enough space for another person to move. Enough space for truth to appear. Enough space for your body to settle before you decide. Enough space for the river in you to remain a river. You do not have to cross the ocean looking for what can recognize your shore. You do not have to leave your own banks to prove you are worth finding. You do not have to make yourself smaller so someone can approach without effort. You can stay present in your own life. You can become easier for yourself to find. That may be the most important return of all. The return to the place within you that does not beg for evidence before believing it exists. The place that can stand quietly and say, I know what I bring. I know what I need. I know what repeated confusion costs me. I know that mutual things must move both ways. I know I can survive what does not fit. I know I can remain open without leaving myself. From here, desire becomes cleaner. You can want companionship without desperation. You can want closeness without making solitude an emergency. You can want to be chosen while remembering you also choose. You can want tenderness without bargaining down your boundaries. You can want a beautiful future without assigning it prematurely to one person. And in that cleaner desire, the pressure begins to lift. You stop trying to drag life toward you. You stop running toward every possibility. You become available to recognition, available to mutual movement, available to what can meet your honesty, available to what can stand beside you without requiring you to disappear. This is not a promise about who arrives. It is a commitment about who you will be when life arrives. You will be here, in your own river, with your own voice, with your own banks intact, ready to recognize what recognizes you. As you become easier for yourself to find, your expectations begin to change without force. You stop asking only whether someone wants you. You begin asking whether the way they want you is healthy for you. That is a different question. It moves you out of auditioning and into discernment. Someone can want your attention and still be unable to care for your heart. Someone can enjoy your presence and still offer very little consistency. Someone can miss you and still not be prepared to build with you. Someone can feel strongly and still lack the skills required for a steady connection. Desire alone is not the measure. Behavior matters. Capacity matters. Honesty matters. The way you feel after repeated contact matters. You are learning not to confuse being wanted with being well treated. For a long time, being wanted may have felt like enough. A message arrived and hope returned. Someone said they missed you, and the old questions softened. A beautiful conversation seemed to erase weeks of uncertainty. You accepted the emotional reunion without asking whether anything underneath it had actually changed. This is understandable. Relief is powerful when you have been waiting. But relief and repair are not the same thing. Repair changes something. It names what happened. It includes responsibility. It creates a different pattern. It does not merely make the pain quiet until the next cycle begins. You are learning to recognize this difference earlier. Words may still touch you. You are human. Affection may still open your heart. There is nothing wrong with that. But you no longer need beautiful words to erase clear evidence. You can appreciate an apology and still watch what follows. You can hear a promise and say, till give time a chance to confirm it. You can accept tenderness without surrendering your memory. That is not mistrust. It is grounded trust. Trust does not require blindness. Healthy trust has eyes. It can see imperfection. It can see repair. It can see effort. It can also see when the same explanation keeps returning while the same wound remains. You do not need to punish anyone for repetition. You can respond to repetition. That response may be a conversation. It may be distance. It may be a firmer boundary. It may be deciding that a particular connection can no longer occupy the same place in your life. The form will depend on the situation. The principle remains simple. Your inner peace is no longer the first thing placed on the bargaining table. You have spent enough years negotiating against yourself. Tonight, you begin practicing another way. When something consistently costs too much of your inner stability, you do not immediately ask how to become better at enduring it. You ask whether the cost belongs in your life. That question raises the level of what you accept, not above human imperfection, above chronic self-abandonment. There is a difference. You can be patient with someone learning. You can be patient with difficult seasons. You can be patient with mistakes. But patience does not require you to call repeated disregard a temporary problem forever. You can give people room to grow without turning yourself into the ground they repeatedly step on while learning. You can support someone without becoming responsible for their entire emotional development. You can care about their healing without appointing yourself as the place where all their unhealed behavior must land. This is where compassion becomes wiser. It includes consequences. It includes truth. It includes you. Sometimes the kindest sentence you can say is a clear one. This does not work for me. No attack, no accusation, no long defense, just truth. Your old habit may want to soften it immediately. You may want to add 10 reasons. You may want to reassure the other person that they are wonderful. You may want to make certain they do not feel rejected. You may want to remove every possible discomfort from the conversation, but clarity cannot always be painless. Two people can be kind and still disappoint each other. Two people can care and still need different things. A boundary does not become cruel merely because someone dislikes it. The purpose of a boundary is not to control another person. It is to describe what you will do with your own participation. You do not say, you must become different. You say, in whatever words fit, this is what I can remain available for. That distinction protects everyone's freedom. They can choose. You can choose. Neither person has to be manipulated into agreement. That is adult respect. You are free to leave a door closed. They are free to knock. You are still free not to open it. You are free to ask for consistency. They are free to say they cannot provide it. Then you have information. The goal is not always to get the answer you wanted. The goal is to stop abandoning yourself in order to avoid hearing the answer. This is why your inner foundation matters so deeply. When your identity depends on being chosen, every boundary feels dangerous. You fear that saying no will make someone leave. You fear that expressing a need will make you less attractive. You fear that asking for clarity will end the connection. But when you trust yourself more, another possibility becomes visible. If honesty ends something that could survive only through your silence, honesty did not destroy a healthy bond. It revealed the conditions holding it together. That truth can hurt. Still, it saves you from living indefinitely inside a false peace. False peace asks you not to speak. Real peace can survive speech. False peace depends on your compliance. Real peace makes room for two realities. False peace looks calm from the outside, while one person disappears inside. Real peace may include difficult conversations, but afterward, you still recognize yourself. This is the kind of peace you are becoming ready for. It has structure. It has banks like the river. Without banks, water spreads until direction is lost. The banks do not hate the water. They give it form. Your limits can do the same for your life. They do not exist because you are withholding. They help your care move in a direction that does not destroy you. A river with no shape becomes something else. A life with no boundaries can become constant reaction. Someone asks, you give. Someone withdraws, you pursue. Someone becomes upset, you repair. Someone returns, you reopen everything. Someone needs more, you rearrange yourself. Eventually, you may wonder where your own direction went. Your limits help you remember. This much access feels healthy. This kind of communication works for me. This behavior crosses a line. This pace gives me room to think. This commitment matches what I am ready for. This situation asks more than I can give. These are not walls against connection. They are information about how connection can enter your life without overwhelming it. The right kind of relationship does not require you to have no boundaries. It learns your shape. You learn theirs. You adjust where adjustment is loving. You remain firm where firmness protects something essential. There will be differences. That is natural. You are not searching for a person who mirrors every preference. You are looking for enough respect that difference does not become domination. Enough honesty that misunderstanding can be repaired. Enough mutual care that compromise moves in both directions. And a stability that you do not have to surrender your entire inner world to keep the relationship functioning. That is a grounded expectation. It asks for reality, not fantasy. And this is where receiving becomes important. Many people think receiving means waiting passively for life to deliver exactly what they asked for. That is not what you are practicing. Receiving is also the ability to accept what is actually being shown. To receive a compliment without immediately deflecting it. to receive care without rushing to repay it, to receive help without turning help into debt, to receive someone's honest answer even when the answer disappoints you, to receive evidence, to receive truth, to receive a no, to receive a yes, to receive consistency when it appears instead of distrusting it, because chaos once felt more familiar. You may be surprised by this last one. When you have spent a long time around unpredictable affection, steadiness can feel almost suspicious. Part of you may wait for the sudden withdrawal. Part of you may search for hidden meaning. Part of you may feel less activated and mistakenly assume there is less connection. Calm can seem quiet after emotional turbulence. Do not mistake quiet for emptiness. Your nervous system may simply be discovering that closeness does not always have to arrive with fear attached. You can learn to receive something steady. You can learn not to sabotage it merely because it does not recreate an old intensity. You can learn to let kindness be ordinary. Let reliability be ordinary. Let consideration be ordinary. Let someone show up without turning their arrival into a test. Receiving also means you do not overpay for what should be freely offered. When someone gives you basic respect, you do not owe them your whole future. When someone is kind, you do not owe immediate emotional access. When someone expresses interest, you do not have to decide the entire story. You can receive one moment as one moment, a conversation as a conversation, an invitation as an invitation, a caring act as a caring act. You do not need to race ahead and make it destiny. This keeps you present. It protects the beauty of what is happening from the pressure of what you hope it becomes. You can let a person earn a larger place in your life through time. Slow trust is still trust. Careful openness is still openness. You are not behind because you no longer rush. You are becoming deliberate. There is power in letting things develop at the speed of truth, not the speed of fantasy, not the speed of fear. The speed at which behavior can become visible. The speed at which you can learn how someone handles disappointment. The speed at which both people can reveal themselves beyond first impressions. This pace may save you from assigning permanence to chemistry before character has had time to speak. You can enjoy chemistry. You can enjoy attraction. You can enjoy the spark. Then keep listening. Does respect grow? Does honesty grow? Does the bond become safer to inhabit? Does responsibility appear when needed? Can warmth survive an ordinary day? Can care survive inconvenience? Can respect survive disagreement? These questions do not make romance less beautiful. They help beauty become livable. You are no longer looking only for moments that sweep you away. You are becoming available for something you can stand inside. And you do not have to abandon the river image to understand this. Think again of the salmon arriving at the mouth of the right water. Recognition does not mean the journey is finished. The current still has to be entered. The path still has to be traveled. There is participation. The creature does not remain offshore, saying, "If this is truly mine, the river must come carry me." It moves. The river moves. Both are part of the return. This is the kind of mutuality your heart is learning to honor. You participate. The other person participates. You speak. They speak. You care. They care. You repair when needed. They also know how to turn back toward the bond. No one is standing still while the other crosses every mile. That is what the core sentence is teaching you. What belongs with me remembers the way. Not because it is magically commanded, because mutual things contain movement from both sides. You are not declaring that a particular person will return. You are not using these words to override another person's choice. You are reminding yourself that you no longer want to build your life around one-sided effort. That is where the promise lives, in your readiness, in your discernment, in your behavior, in the new level of care you give yourself. The future remains free, and that freedom is sacred. You do not need a guaranteed outcome to become ready for healthier closeness. You do not need certainty before strengthening your boundaries. You do not need proof that something better is coming before stopping what repeatedly harms you. Your next step can be right even when the entire road is unseen. If a relationship harms your body or spirit, if there is coercion, violence, intimidation, control, threats, or fear for your safety, these words are not a substitute for real support. Affirmations cannot make an unsafe situation safe. You deserve practical help, trusted support, and appropriate professional or local resources when harm is present. Your safety matters more than preserving an image of connection. You do not owe endurance to danger. You do not have to spiritualize harm. You do not have to call fear devotion. This practice is about supporting your self-respect. It is not about asking you to remain where you are being harmed, and for situations that are not dangerous but are simple, painful, confusing, or mismatched, you are still allowed to take your experience seriously. Pain does not have to become catastrophic before it counts. You do not have to wait until you are completely depleted. You can respond while some strength remains. You can choose sooner. You can speak sooner. You can step back sooner. You can believe the pattern sooner. That is one way self-trust becomes practical. It changes timing. You stop waiting for undeniable devastation before giving yourself permission to act. You do not need every warning light to be flashing. Sometimes repeated unease is enough to investigate. Sometimes repeated inconsistency is enough to ask for clarity. Sometimes an honest conversation reveals that repair is possible. Sometimes it reveals that two people want different things. Both answers are useful. Truth does not always give you what you wanted. It gives you something you can stand on. And once you stand on truth, receiving changes again. You stop begging one closed path to open. Your attention widens. You become aware of everything else your life contains. Friendship, purpose, rest, learning, beauty, work, family, creativity, solitude, the ordinary pleasures that became invisible while your mind was focused on one uncertain connection. Your life begins returning in pieces. You realize how much was already reaching you. A person who checks on you, a quiet morning, a task completed, a sincere conversation, an unexpected kindness, a moment when your body feels calm, a decision you make without asking anyone to approve it. These things matter. They rebuild your sense that life is not happening only in the place where you have been waiting. There are many forms of being met. Do not reduce all abundance to romantic attention. A fuller life makes romance healthier because it no longer has to carry the weight of your entire existence. You can want partnership deeply and still belong to your own days. You can desire intimacy and still cultivate friendships. You can long for companionship and still create beauty in solitude. You can be open to another person without making your own life a holding room. This is how you become more grounded, not harder, fuller. Your days have substance whether someone sends the message or not. Your evenings have meaning whether someone is beside you or not. You are no longer waiting to begin. And this fullness changes the way you encounter others. You become less likely to turn early attention into rescue, less likely to overlook incompatibility because loneliness feels urgent, less likely to accept half-hearted participation because any participation seems better than none. You begin choosing from abundance of self rather than fear of absence. That is a profound shift. It does not make you immune to loneliness. There will still be evenings when you wish someone were there. There may be moments when memory returns. There may be a name you almost type. There may be a photograph you remember. There may be a season when longing rises again. Let those moments be human. You do not need to make longing your enemy. Longing can pass through without taking command. You can miss someone and keep the boundary. You can feel tenderness and keep moving. You can remember and still choose the present. You can wish things had been different without returning to what was. Your emotions are not contracts. They can tell you what mattered. They do not always tell you what to do next. This is especially important when old familiarity calls. Familiar does not always mean aligned. A river can be remembered because it is home. A pattern can also be remembered because it is familiar pain. You learn the difference by asking what happens to you there. Do you become more whole? or do you begin disappearing? Does your voice strengthen, or do you start editing it? Does your body settle over time, or does it become increasingly watchful? Does honesty create deeper understanding or punishment? Your answers matter. They teach you which direction is truly a return and which direction is repetition. You are no longer required to confuse the two. And somewhere in this deeper discernment, you realize you do not need to stand at the edge of your life calling after what has already chosen distance. You can turn inward. You can turn toward what is present. You can turn toward what participates. You can turn toward your own future without needing to know who eventually walks beside you. There is space here, real space, space for your heart to breathe, space for something new to be recognized without being forced, space for you to discover that the absence of pursuit is not the absence of desire. It is desire with dignity. You still care. You still hope. You still remain open. You simply stop carrying what was never yours to carry alone. And if these words found you at the right time, let that be enough for this moment. No grand declaration, no decision made for the sake of proving growth. Just one quiet agreement with yourself. I will stop doing the other person's part. Let that agreement settle. Let it reach the places where you have been over-functioning. Let it reach the part that always sends the second explanation, the third chance, the extra reassurance, the unnecessary apology. Let that part understand that it does not have to keep the entire river moving. There are two shores in every real meeting, two lives, two choices, two directions that must become compatible enough to share a path. You can carry your side with care. You can no longer carry both. That is not withdrawal. That is balance returning. And balance creates room for the next movement of this night. A movement away from explanation, away from analysis, away from trying to understand every past decision. You have understood enough for now. The mind does not have to solve anything else tonight. Soon, the words can become shorter. The body can become heavier. The old effort can begin leaving you one layer at a time. You have already done something important. You have remembered where your banks are. You have remembered that the river does not become less beautiful because it refuses to abandon its course. You have remembered that a true return contains recognition from both directions. You have remembered that your life does not have to be spent calling across waters that never answer. The next part asks almost nothing from you, only rest, only listening. Only enough openness to let these new truths fall softly, one by one, until thought gives way to sleep. You have understood enough for tonight. Nothing more needs to be proven. Nothing more needs to be solved. The mind has traveled through the old patterns, looked at the places where you carried too much, and remembered a quieter direction. Now the words can begin to fall differently. You do not need to hold each one. You do not need to examine each one. Some can pass through like water moving over smooth stone. Some can settle for later. Some may feel true immediately. Others may take time. There is no test here. There is only the gradual experience of no longer having to push yourself toward what cannot meet you. The river does not strain to become recognizable. It carries its own signature. The salmon does not return by making every body of water acceptable. It follows what corresponds with something deep inside. And tonight, your own inner recognition becomes clearer. You know more now about the difference between effort and over-effort. You know more about the difference between openness and self-erasure. You know more about the difference between a difficult season and a repeating pattern that continually asks you to betray yourself. That knowledge can rest beside you. It does not have to become vigilance. You do not need to inspect every future person for hidden danger. You do not need to compare every new moment with an old disappointment. Wisdom can be quieter than that. Wisdom can sit beneath your choices without filling your thoughts. It can help you slow down when something moves too quickly. It can help you speak when silence would cost you too much. It can help you leave space where you once rushed to fill every gap. It can help you remember that another person is responsible for showing who they are. You are responsible for listening. You are responsible for showing who you are too. No performance, no carefully manufactured distance. No pretending you do not care when you do. No pretending you are comfortable when you are not. You can become increasingly honest. Honest interest, honest hesitation, honest affection, honest limits, honest questions, honest answers. There is freedom in being knowable, not completely. No human being is ever fully understood by another, but enough. Enough that someone does not have to fall for a version of you built from fear. Enough that you do not have to spend months maintaining an image. Enough that closeness can form around truth rather than strategy. You deserve the relief of that. You deserve to discover who can meet the real shape of your life. Not the endlessly accommodating shape. Not the person who says yes while feeling no. Not the person who pretends not to need reassurance. Not the person who laughs off what hurts. Not the person who accepts any arrangement because losing the arrangement feels worse. The real you, the one with preferences, the one with a history, the one who has learned, the one who can care deeply and still ask whether care is moving both ways, the one who can remain tender without handing out unlimited access, the one who can be disappointed and still keep her dignity. You do not need to perfect this person. You only need to stop deserting her. There will be days when you forget. There may be moments when old urgency returns quickly. A name appears, a memory opens, A familiar silence awakens something. Your fingers may move toward the old response before your wiser self has spoken. That does not erase what you have learned. You can stop midway. You can return. Return is part of the teaching. The salmon's journey is not one uninterrupted straight line drawn across still water. Currents move, conditions change. The body adjusts. Direction is recovered again and again. You are permitted the same humanity. You can lose your center for an afternoon and come back by evening. You can make one anxious choice without turning it into an identity. You can send a message you later realize came from fear and still choose differently next time. Growth does not require an immaculate record. It asks for increasing honesty. You become quicker at recognizing yourself, quicker at realizing this is the old urge to secure what feels uncertain, quicker at asking what has actually been shown, quicker at returning responsibility to the right place. Then the wave passes. You are still here. Your future is still open. Nothing sacred has been destroyed because you had a human moment. There is room for learning. There is room for tenderness toward yourself. There is room for imperfection on both sides of any healthy connection. What changes is your willingness to remain indefinitely inside patterns that consume you. That willingness is fading. The old bargain is becoming less attractive. The bargain that said you could have closeness if you surrendered, peace. The bargain that said attention was worth confusion. The bargain that said patience meant waiting without end. The bargain that said being understanding meant having no limit. The bargain that said being chosen was more important than choosing wisely. You are no longer signing that agreement automatically. You read the terms now. You ask what they cost. You ask whether your own life has a place inside them. That is how dignity becomes practical. It moves out of beautiful language and into ordinary moments. You go to sleep instead of waiting beside the phone. You finish your work instead of rereading a conversation. You keep the plan you made for yourself. You spend time with people who participate. You do not cancel your whole evening because someone might call. You say what you mean once. You give truth enough room to answer. Small acts. A changed life is built from them. You may never have one dramatic moment when you become completely free of old habits. It may happen quietly. One morning you realize you have not checked. One afternoon you realize you did not interpret the silence. One evening you realize someone's uncertainty no longer feels like a command for you to work harder. You are surprised by your own calm. That calm is not indifference. It is your life returning to its proper size. One person is no longer the entire sky. One answer is no longer the entire future. One outcome is no longer the measure of whether your path is blessed or broken. The world becomes large again. There are many roads you have not walked, many conversations you have not had, many forms of joy you cannot predict from where you are lying tonight. You do not need to manufacture them. You do not need to search every horizon. Your task is closer. Remain where you can hear yourself. Keep your banks. Keep your direction. Let what enters your life reveal whether it knows how to travel beside you. And let what moves away move without requiring you to run behind it forever. Some things may return. Some things may not. Some things may return changed. Some things may return only long enough to show you that you have changed. You do not have to build your peace around any of those possibilities. Your peace can be rooted in your own response. If someone comes back into your life, you can look at what is actually offered now, not only what you remember, not only what you wished for, what exists now. If something new appears, you can let it become known slowly. You do not have to crown it immediately. You do not have to predict its ending. You can stay inside the present long enough for truth to develop. This is receiving with discernment. Hands open, eyes open too. A heart that does not need to be armored. A heart that no longer has to be abandoned for the sake of remaining open. There is room for both softness and structure. Water has oftness. A river has shape. You can carry both. You can bend without losing direction. You can respond without surrendering your center. You can change your mind when new information comes. You can forgive without reopening every door. You can offer another chance when that choice is grounded rather than frightened. You can decide not to. There is no single rule that fits every relationship. The deeper rule is honesty with yourself. What is happening here? What has repeated? What has changed? What has not? What does my body know after enough time has passed? What do the actions say? What choice lets me remain in relationship with myself? You will not always answer perfectly. You do not need to. The inner compass becomes clearer through use. And as the night grows quieter around you, you can stop asking it to explain anything more. The next truths are smaller. They do not need long sentences. They do not need argument. Let them arrive one at a time. I belong in my own life. I trust what repeats. I welcome mutual effort. I choose honest connection. I keep my center. I respect my limits. I speak without begging. I listen to actions. I trust steady care. I release forced outcomes. I choose what meets me. I let truth guide me. I can wait calmly. I can choose slowly. I remain open wisely. I welcome clear intentions. I honor consistent effort. I do not overcarry. I let others participate. I keep my own direction. I trust healthy space. I welcome honest answers. I choose mutual respect. I can hear no. I can receive yes. I let time reveal. I trust what is steady. I welcome real reciprocity. I can remain myself. I choose peaceful closeness. I am safe within myself. I let effort be shared. I honor what I know. I release old bargaining. I keep my voice. I welcome clear care. I trust my discernment. I choose grounded hope. I remain rooted. I receive sincerity. I choose consistency. I trust myself. I stay resent. I welcome truth. I keep peace. I choose wisely. I stay open. I stand steady. I remain whole. I am here. Let the last words become even lighter now. No need to repeat them. No need to remember all of them. The mind can let them go. Your body has carried enough conversations for one day. Your shoulders do not need to hold tomorrow. Let the muscles around your eyes release. Let the space between your eyebrows soften. Let your jaw rest without holding the words you did not say. Let your tongue settle. Let your throat become quiet. Let your shoulders lower from the work of carrying what belonged to more than one person. Let your arms become heavy. Let your hands rest without reaching. Nothing needs to be typed. Nothing needs to be checked. Nothing needs to be repaired before morning. Your chest can loosen from the old readiness for disappointment. Your breath can move without being measured. Your stomach can release the conversations it has been holding. Your back can be supported by the place beneath you. You do not have to support everything. Your hips can become heavy. Your legs can stop preparing to run after anything. Your knees can rest. Your ankles can rest. Your feet can rest. The whole body can remain where it is. No pursuit, no argument, no rehearsal, no prediction, no decoding, no proving, only this night, only this body, only the place beneath you. The river continues without your supervision. The ocean remains wide. Somewhere beyond thought, currents move according to laws older than worry. You do not need to manage them. You do not need to understand every direction life may take. Morning can bring morning. Tomorrow can bring its own information. Tonight belongs to rest. Release the message you almost sent. Release the answer you wanted. Release the conversation you keep correcting in your mind. Release the imagined version of what someone should have said. Release the need to be perfectly understood. Release the wish to control another person's readiness. Release the belief that one more explanation could guarantee closeness. Release the habit of turning silence into self-judgment. Release the need to predict who stays. Release the need to know who returns. Release the need to make the future arrive early. Release the old role of carrying two people. Release the pressure to be endlessly easy. Release the fear of disappointing someone by becoming clearer. Release the guilt attached to your limits. Release the fantasy that endurance alone creates mutuality. Release the idea that losing a connection means losing yourself. Release the comparison. Release the imagined competition. Release the question of who was more desirable. Release the story that another person's choice measures you. Release the old exam. Release the audition. Release the performance. Release the waiting room. Release the open tab in your mind. Release the need to solve it tonight. The water can move. You can rest. The water can turn. You can rest. The current can change. You can rest. Something may be unknown. You can rest. Someone may be uncertain. You can rest. A story may remain unfinished. You can rest. Your future may be unwritten. You can rest. Nothing is missing from this moment simply because tomorrow is not visible. You are here. Your body is here. Your breath continues. The place beneath you holds your weight without asking you to earn the support. For these remaining moments, you do not need to improve yourself. You do not need to become more impressive. You do not need to become more desirable. You do not need to become easier to keep. You do not need to prove that you have learned every lesson. Sleep does not ask for perfection. It asks only that you stop carrying the day. Let one layer fall, then another. The old urgency can become distant. The old question can become quieter. The old image can move farther away. You do not have to push it away. Let distance happen naturally, as when a river bend carries something beyond sight. One moment it is near, then farther, then gone around the curve. you remain. The river remains. There is no need to follow everything that passes from view. Some things are meant to continue downstream. Some belong to another stretch of water. Some were never yours to hold forever. Your hands can stay open. Open does not mean empty. Open means no longer clenched. You have yourself here. That is not a consolation prize. It is the beginning point from which every healthy bond becomes possible. From here, another person can add to your life without becoming responsible for creating your entire life. From here, you can care without disappearing. From here, you can be chosen without making selection your identity. From here, you can choose without fear making every decision. From here, you can enter closeness as someone already standing on her own ground. And if someone walks beside you, there will be two people there, not one person carrying two lives. Two people, two voices, two choices, two sets of hands, two directions willingly becoming one shared stretch for as long as truth supports it. No forcing, no ownership, no guarantee demanded from the future. Presence, participation, respect, that is enough. You can stop thinking now. The deeper part of you has heard what it needs. The river in you has not forgotten. Even after long seasons in unfamiliar waters, there is still an orientation toward home. Not a house, not a person, not a particular outcome. Home as integrity. Home as the place where your words and actions are no longer divided. Home as the place where you do not negotiate away your deepest knowing for temporary reassurance. Home as the inner ground you can return to after disappointment. You know the way more often than fear tells you. And when you forget, you can learn it again. No rush, no punishment. Return. Return to yourself after the difficult message. Return after the old habit. Return after the lonely evening. Return after disappointment. Return after hope rises too quickly. Return after a boundary shakes your confidence. Return after a memory pulls you backward. Return without shame. The path remains. Your center does not reject you for wandering. It is still here. Let this be the last work you do tonight, not reaching, returning, not persuading, remembering, not holding another person's side, holding your own course. The night becomes quieter. The words become fewer. Your hands are still. Your face is soft. Your shoulders are resting. Your breathing needs no instruction. It already knows. In, out. Then nothing to manage. The river knows movement. The body knows sleep. You can trust both without supervision. What belongs with me remembers the way. Let the sentence pass through once. No gripping. What belongs with me remembers the way. Let it move farther away. What belongs with me remembers the way. And now even the sentence can go. You do not need it while you sleep. There is only the quiet sense beneath it. Mutuality, truth, direction, rest. You can stop reaching into tomorrow. Let tomorrow cross its own distance. You can stop reaching into another mind. Let others carry their own thoughts. You can see, top reaching backward. The past has already given what it can give. Rest here. No chase. No proving. No performance. No pursuit. Only rest. Only return. Only you. The river darkens beneath the night. The current continues. The banks remain. You remain. Nothing needs your effort now. Your life can unfold without being pulled. Your relationships can reveal themselves without being forced. Your heart can be open without running ahead of you. Sleep can come without a final answer. Let it. Let thought thin. Let memory dim. Let the body grow heavy. Let the last questions drift beyond the bend. I hold my course. My river remembers. You no longer chase. You attract. Sleep where your own waters know you.